Yeah, good evening once again. This is Zabini as usual. So, today what we'll be seeing, we'll be talking about how you can set up your own recursive DNS server or at the enterprise network or your home lab. But we'll be just simply using my own hub lab I have over here. So let's get started without wasting much time. So here I have a new tab here. Let's first make a research on what is recursive DNS servers. So as you can see here, a recursive DNS server, also known as a DNS resolver, is a server that acts on behalf of the client device to find the IP address of the domain name that is not authoritative for and return this information to the requesting device, right? So for example, let's see if we can see a good image over here. So for example, let's take this. If I try to zoom a little bit, you can see here we have our DNS server over here, which is kind of like let's call it recursive DNS server. Here we have the person who just having his PC. He want to go, for example, on google.com. What is going to happen? This user is going to send DNS query to this local DNS server saying that, do you know where is google.com, right? And what's going to happen? This server is going to, if it doesn't have google.com, is going to ask other servers like this root level DNS server asking like, guy, do you know this person, right? Until it finds out google.com, or it just lost google.com, and then it gives the response to the user, right? So and then if, for example, if google.com is found, this the local DNS server is going to cache it to save it in case at other time you want to request google.com. It is not going to keep asking again these servers. It's going to keep it in its own database, in simple words. So for example, let's take a small example on how domain names are being resolved to the IP addresses. For example, here, if I type google.com, right here, for me as a person, I can understand what is google.com, but for machines, they are not going to say, like, they are not going to know, like, what are you saying, man? Google.com. No, that's where DNS server comes in, right? Because DNS servers, they're going to take this domain name and then they translate it into the IP addresses. And as you know, IP addresses, they are octet, if I'm not wrong, which can be converted into like binaries. So one thing I can do here, let me open up my command prompt and then we see like how. Let's search for the name server nslookup of google.com. We're going to see if we can get like an IP address of the google.com. Yeah, for example, I'm using the server I'm using is unknown because this is my router gateway, right? So and then an authoritative answer we have for the google.com is that we got the address. We see here we have the IPv6, right? IP version 6, and we have an IPv4 address, right? Means that this is the address of google.com. So today's lab, what you are going to do, we are going to see how we can set up our own DNS server, and which can also help us for blocking ads, right? So you guys, and I hope you have seen the IP addresses, how the Google is being translated into like its own address, right? It's that, right? So let's see how we can use this Pi-hole. Pi-hole is an open source tool we can use for setting up our local DNS resolver, which can also help us to block those annoying ads, right? Yeah, and yeah, even if those ads, that's where comes from those malicious links, right? So let's search for Pi-hole project. So here we have network-wide ad blocking, right? So I will just, you see it's open source, we can donate there. So we can use Docker, but today we'll be using simple way to deploy our Pi-hole, right? So as you can see here, there is good documentation on GitHub. So as you can see here, we have one-step automated installation. So what you are going to do, you are going to copy this line of code over here, which is car, and then what you have to do is to copy that, and then let me open up my Kali. Sorry, I forgot to show you like what I have in my lab, right? See, I have this Kali Linux machine over here, which is going to be acting as our DNS resolver, right? And this Windows 10 will be acting as like a client on our network, and I also have the host machine, which is the one which is virtualizing all of this, right? So let me open up my Kali. It's already running, so I'll try to sign in. So here you can see I have my Kali. It's looking great. So what I have to do, I have to come on this, I copy this link, I mean this command over here. So and then what I have to do is to normally paste it. So this is one step installation, right? So what you have to do, you have to just type, click enter, right? So you wait for the magic. It's going to tell me like root check script code with non-root privileges, so I have to give you root privileges. So and it is going to be to install all packages, what and what. But for instance, for me it's already installed, right? So but for you, you have to wait for it. It's just you wait for it to be completed, right? So and if it's done, it will be somewhere in you'll find its dashboard on Serve Web UI. So what I have to do, and I think it's running in background, so what I have to do is grabbing my IP address, so and then I paste it there. I hope it's on admin, right? So and as you can see here, my Pi-hole is running, right? So here you can the password, you have to configure it. So they give you the password, and if you want, you can normally change it, right? So what you have to do, I have to log in inside my Pi-hole. You can see we have total queries. We have 0. They blocked like those ads, the percentage, the domain list, what and what, right? So what I have to do to make like other pieces to resolve on this domain name, what I have to do, let me open up my Windows over here, and then I try to go to control panel, control panel. It's over here. I see it's kind of going slow. It's a virtualized machine. Just be patient. Oh, I open it. Yeah, see, my control panel is now ready. So what I have to do, I have to navigate to the network and interface, network and sharing center, and then I choose the adapter settings. So here I'm using this adapter. So what I have to do is going to my adapters property so that I can change the DNS address to the IP address of my Kali Linux, which is acting as the DNS resolver, because that's where we have Pi-hole running, right? So what I have to do, you double click here, and then you can see when I scroll down, you see I have used the following DNS server address. So what I have to do, I have to put my Kali Linux IP address, and then we'll have 1, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, as you can see, this is the IP address we are going to configure in this Windows machine. So what you have to do is okay that, and then you okay. So, and I hope now it's done, right? So, and let me also on this host machine make those configurations. Control panel. So network and sharing. So adapter settings. So but here I'll be choosing this Wi-Fi adapter because you can see it's the one which have the connection, has the life, right? So let me go to its settings and then obtain the following DNS server, and then I also put my Kali IP address 168.43.51, and I hope this is correct. So and then I save that. So and now we are ready to go. As you can see here, let me bring back this VirtualBox. And what I've done is that, like, this Windows 10 machine over here and my host which is running Windows 11, all of them, they are going to use this Kali as their DNS server, in other words, right? So for example, let's take a simple example. We see if this Pi-hole DNS server is running, right? So what I have to do, let me close that. And let me close that and try to make some queries, like let me go to like YouTube, right? See, it's now taking time. Have to check. Like, can you see now we have like queries. See, they're being increasing time by time, because now we are sending some queries from this PC, and you see now it was taking much time because it was the first time, right? It was taking much time to resolve youtube.com, right? And the second time will be quick because this YouTube is going to be cached, right? So for example, to make sure this is running the actual DNS server, let's try to do what? Let's try to do like to add DNS records in our DNS resolver, right? So for example, let me try to enable Apache server sudo systemctl. Let's start Apache server, and I hope it's running on this IP address, right? So if I go on this, sorry for that. So let me copy this IP address, and then when we try to navigate to this, why am I still copying the same? But I still remember it in my head, right? So if I try to go this, you can see we have this good portfolio, hacksergeb, the cybersecurity expert. So we are going to just add DNS records of this IP address. We put like a domain name, and then we add the records to this IP address. That's what you are going to do. So what you have to do is that I'll be back in my Kigali. I go to my Pi-hole dashboard. So I have to scroll down to settings, and then you can see I have local DNS records, right? So I have to add the record, but let me delete that one so you guys don't get confused. Let's create a record, and then we are going to take we are going to make, like, if someone wants to go to sales.com, will be the DNS server will resolve to this IP address in both machines, in all machines which are using my DNS server as their resolver, right? So what you have to do, let's do it quick. So I have to put a domain name like sales.com, and then associated IP address is the one which is running the Apache server, 1.68.43.51. But don't get confused. I just have a small lab, right? This IP address is the one which is running the Apache server. You can put another IP is running another web server. Don't get confused. Is the same as this one I'm using on DNS. This Apache server is running using the different ports, right? So what you have to do, I have to click on this green button. I add that. You see now we added DNS records. So, and also you can add this CNAME records, which are kind of like aliases. So you read more about DNS records. So let's do a small check. We try to go to sales.com to see that if our DNS is going to resolve. And as you can see here, it's able to resolve sales.com to that IP address of Kali machine which is running Apache server. So let's try it out in another machine over here, which is Windows. So let me open up Edge browser in this PC. Then we try to navigate to sales.com. We see if we will be able to reach on our Apache server over there. So that's telling me the page is not loading. Let's wait. So let's open up another one, search.com.
A few moments later.
So you can see it's able to resolve search.com, right? And yeah. So, and let me try on Chrome browser. Let me try to navigate to search.com to see if it's going to be resolved. yeah, you see it's being resolved because this machine is using my pi hole as the recursive DNS server. So for making quick check, let's get back to the settings and then we remove that DNS server, and then we try to go to search.com and then we see what happened. Control panel open. Right. So control panel, network and sharing center. So let me change the adapter settings. So today my PC is kinda slow. I don't know what is going on. Kinda slow. It's moving slow. So let's do it idle. So let's use automatically, and then we remove our pi hole as the end. So let me close that. So let's try to refresh this page, and then we see if it's going to be able to resolve something. You see, it resolved something different. Well, as you can see, but if I close the control panel, if I add again, I put back my DNS server I just set up with pi hole, I think we'll be able to reach on search.com, right? Properties, use this IP address 168.43.51. So let's try to refresh, and we see if you see now it's kind of working. So for you guys, so another thing we have to test is to see like if it's blocking some ads. Let's refresh. Let's go to msn.com. And on the concept of blocking ads, you can see it's have been tried to block some, and if I try to remove my DNS server there, and then we refresh this page, and I hope we see many ads popping around here, and remove that. So let me use obtain. Okay. So let me refresh this page. You see many ads being popped out here, and we didn't have them before. Sponsored. Yeah, you see the first one loaded, but it was blocked. You remember, it just being loaded. Right. And if I come back to my pi hole dashboard, you can see now we have let me try to sign in again. You can see now we have 145 route queries, right? And the total queries we made for just single time 1113. And then you can see like a cached list, right? So And also you can see like top blocked, like you can see Google Analytics.com. Those are websites which are loading some ads. And also then all we try to query, you can also see sales.com in our records, right? So and then you can analyze your data over here. If you want to join a full cybersecurity program from beginner level to advanced, I have the bootcamp for you guys. Once you have check the link in description, and then you make sure you contact me, or you grab the contacts down there, and then you try to email me or text me on WhatsApp, so we follow along together, so you can improve in cyber security career. So thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, so for you guys you don't miss another video. As you know, I try to my best to give you like a good content. So see you guys